You are live. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me today on the first day of June, June 1st. It is officially summer. I'm so excited that we finally reached this time of the year. But it is also the first day of June, and so we are celebrating Pride Month, as well as this being our first Facebook Live session of this month of June. So hello, and thanks for joining me. My name is Windsor, and I am a program implementer for the Girl Scouts of San Gorgonio Council. And today I will be talking to you about Pride Month, because it is June, and it is an important time of the year to celebrate, or to at least acknowledge, LGBTQ issues, and celebrate a big group of people in our community. So what exactly is LGBTQ Pride Month? So LGBTQ is an acronym that stands for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer. And you will also probably hear different versions of that. Sometimes you might just hear LGBT or LGBTQ, or sometimes you'll see added letters including I, A, or plus sign, and that is to be more inclusive, to include intersex allies, as well as different, and plus being anyone who kind of including anyone who does not consider themselves, to be a cisgender individual, but might not, use those precise terms. So it's to be as inclusive as possible. But typically, you'll just see it as those 5 letters. So lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer, LGBTQ or LGBTQ+. But Pride Month is a positive stance against discrimination, violence towards lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer people. The month is dedicated to promoting self-affirmation, dignity, and equality rights, as well as aims to increase LGBTQ visibility as a social group, while celebrating sexual diversity and gender variance. So kind of to shine a light on a group of people, increase visibility, positive invisibility, as well as celebrating sexual diversity and gender variance, not just what we would consider, cisgender, or someone who is assigned a particular, gender at birth, and then that is the gender. So, for example, I was born as a female. I go by she, her pronouns. So I would be considered a cisgender, because I do not go by I'm not transgender. But you also could have individuals who have sexual diversity, so are not considered straight or heterosexual, but are homosexual or bisexual or pan, ace, or variants of different, either attraction or so much differences. And I'm sorry if I'm not completely confident in my words. I'm just trying to be as inclusive as possible. So I apologize if I'm not using the best language possible. But and so why is, and actually I have a little bit more. Change this. So here I have just an image of our Girl Scout Trefoil, and you can see it is surrounded by colors of a pride flag, different pride colors. And I will actually go into more detail about some of those colors that you see, because you're going to see a lot of different variants on the pride flag. But what is actual pride? So pride, as you can see, you'll see a bunch of different flags here. It goes beyond kind of the basic there's a bunch of different types of pride flags, and you'll see different variations of them. So pride is a word that is commonly used to describe Pride Month and to describe a way as opposing the shame and social stigma that is the outlook that bolsters most LGBTQ rights groups and movements around the world. So, for a very long time, there was a stigma against LGBTQ individuals and their lifestyle. And there was a shame and stigma attached to that. But now, or for the past, how many years from about 1970, Pride has been this point of, promoting these groups of people, this group of people, and creating a way to kind of be positive about themselves and this group of people. Pride has lent its name to different themed events, organizations, institutes, book titles, foundations, different types of media, as well as, different organizations. There's Pride libraries, there's different Pride organizations, and different places that are kind of there to promote all of these, these groups, as well as this movement towards erasing that stigma and shame that is still attached to, LGBTQ rights, as well as groups of people. So, and you can also see, so Pride, it will include a lot of flags. That's a really great way to show off Pride by, having something that is very visible to kind of say, this is who we are, this is our group of people, or this is who I am. And it's a way of showing solidarity as well as your own personal pride. So there's different variations. There's the original Pride flag of, I believe, 8 colors. Yeah, 8 colors, including pink, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. And that was simplified to the 6-color pride flag that I think is most common, or people are more used to seeing: the red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple. Then there's the Philadelphia Pride flag, which includes 2 additional colors of brown and black, and that is to include more easily show the pride with people of color, individuals of color. And then there's different flags for different groups of people, including the transgender flag, the non-binary pride flag, intersex flag, the asexual community, the bisexual pride, pansexual, lesbian community, gay pride, men pride flag, and the modern pride flag. And this one, I think the modern pride flag is probably the most familiar, or the one that is the most commonly used nowadays. I've seen it a lot of places because it includes those original 6 pride flag colors, as well as colors including the black and the brown for individuals of color, as well as the white, pink, and blue that you can kind of see in the transgender flag. And then within that flag, you can actually see a combination, or kind of the colors included in all the other different flags. So you can see the colors for the asexual community, as well as the different other communities within that one flag. So it's the most inclusive, at least from visually. So why is Pride Month in June? So early on in the morning of Saturday, June 28th, 1969, the police raided a gay bar in New York City known as the Stonewall Inn. So it was a restaurant and gathering place that was raided by the police, and this was a common spot for individuals of the LGBTQ community to come and feel safe, and just be able to feel like they weren't going to be safe and enjoy their community with each other. But when it was raided, the event brought on a series of riots by LGBTQ persons, constituting the most important event leading to the gay liberation movement and the modern fight for LGBTQ rights in the United States. So this was seen as kind of like a sparking a moment that kind of sparked this big movement to start having pride parades, as well as kind of fighting back against that stigma, as well as the criminalization of homosexuality, or of a lifestyle that was looked down upon. So it was seen as this big moment in LGBTQ rights. Um, and so that was why, so all in the month of June was chosen to honor and commemorate those original Stonewall riots. Um, and so and it was started by a woman, or an individual known as Brenda Howard, who is known as the Mother of Pride for her work in coordinating the first LGBTQ Pride March to commemorate the first anniversary of the Stonewall riots. She also originated the idea for a week-long series of events around Pride Day, which became the genesis of an annual Pride Festival celebrations that are now held around the world every June. So in the following year, so the riots took place in 1969, and then in 1970, you see Pride events starting to take place, not just in New York City, but around the country and around the world. In this, you can see a photo of the Stonewall Inn in New York City. And you can see that Pride events, including lots of parades, are held every single year, not just including people of the LGBT community, but as well as allies and people who are supporting their cause. And so so it is celebrated. It draws millions of participants from around the world each year. And today, the month-long celebrations include parades, marches, parties, concerts, shows, workshops, symposiums, and rallies across the entire nation. And so how can you celebrate, or how can you support Pride Month? So what you could do is you can actually support some of these nonprofit organizations or Pride organizations. And these are 3 examples that I have. The Trevor Project, which focused primarily on youth and mental health, providing a hotline and other prevention efforts to help young queer people. And they seek to provide a safe space for queer youth to heal and find support. So there's a large number of LGBTQ youth individuals who, might not feel supported or feel safe because of their sexuality, either within their community or their family. And so the Trevor Project is a organization that is helping, mental health, and providing a hotline and support system so they don't feel isolated and can feel like they can be in a safe environment and community. There's also GLSCN, formerly known as the Gay, Lesbian, Straight Education Network. It's an education organization primarily centered around preventing bullying in schools for LGBTQIA plus students. So providing lots of information in schools, so that there's a lot of wrong information, or biased or stereotypical information concerning the LGBT community and lifestyle. And so they provide a lot of information to kind of educate the youth so that, prevent bullying. And as well as the GLAAD, or GLAAD, the Gay and Lesbian Alliance Against Defamation, is an organization dedicated to representation in media, and the mission is centered around cultural change and conversation about queer identities. So, making sure that there are queer people or LGBTQ people, individuals represented in media, movies, music, books, podcasts, and it's done in a positive light as well as not just a negative or stereotypical light. But what are some other ways that you can support or, participate in Pride this month? So the easiest thing you can do is attend a Pride event. So last year, a lot of Pride events were canceled because of the pandemic. This year, a lot of them are opening up to be in person, but there are still things online, Pride events online. You can attend in person or virtually. You can also support by, perhaps supporting the organizations that run those Pride events. you can buy or support a LGBTQ nonprofit or business. So you'll see in this month there's a lot of businesses, that will provide, pride clothing, or different types of uh, things like clothing or shoes, stickers, done bunch of different ways to kind of like show visually their pride. And you can do that by supporting a small business or one that's owned by an LGBTQ owner, instead of supporting, say a large company or corporation. A lot of those places will actually donate a portion of the proceeds to organizations, but trying to do it in a way that will support those smaller businesses is kind of good for both, the business as well as supporting those nonprofits. You can watch media about LGBTQ issues or just the genre, and particularly any GLAAD awarded media. So you can go to their website and look at, things that they promote. You can show your support, again, with a flag, a sticker, clothing. You'll see I have my Pride shirt on, Love Wins. So there's little things, but the most important thing is to learn about LGBT figures, history, and try to make yourself aware of the issues, as educate yourself, as well as confront some of maybe perhaps biases that you might have, and try to use as much inclusive language and avoid gendered language. So an example would be try not to refer to a group of individuals all as guys. Try to say something that is non-gender exclusives. So, say something like folks, or a lot of people say y'all or something like that, and avoid gender language. So, for example, don't refer to a female friend who you're not romantically involved with as a girlfriend. Try to keep that as a word that people who actually, individuals who have romantic relationships, being able to refer to their partners as girlfriends, because then, that might be something that, to make it so that you're not, in a way being exclusive by using particular language. And share your preferred pronouns. So if you would like to be referred to as she, her, he, him, perhaps they, them, or some other variant, share your preferred pronouns when you introduce yourself to someone or on your social media. A lot of different social media will allow you to actually share your preferred pronoun, so you can share it, even if you think your pronoun might be obvious to other people. It's a good way to, or you feel like you don't, or people assume what your pronouns are based on your appearance. It's a good way to be an ally and help others feel comfortable by being able to share your pronouns, and make it so that it's not something that is uncommon. If we would all introduce ourselves, say, hi, my name is Windsor, I use she, her pronouns, and make that something that, is something that people are just doing automatically. And so someone who does not uses pronouns such as they, them, feel comfortable with just using them, or people are not making assumptions about what their pronouns are before they meet them. And just learn about different language as well. Different words. If I've used words in this presentation that you're unfamiliar with, there's a lot of resources on the internet, and different places that will help you with some of that kind of language, because there's a lot to be said for using proper language when trying to talk about LGBTQ issues and different topics. So making sure that you're using correct language. And you can always find those online, and there's a lot of resources. Any of those nonprofits or any of those organizations that I referenced earlier can certainly help you with that as well. And then just learn about the history. There's a lot of amazing LGBTQ figures from, in our activists as well as historical figures that have made an amazing have done amazing things to support LGBTQ rights from the time, from even before 1970, and have done amazing work, not just in that to support that community or the LGBT community, but our entire country and our world and all people of all walks of life. So there's a lot to learn and a lot to be done in this month. So there are many things that you can do in this month. And if you have any ideas or you are doing anything special with your troop or your family, be, you know, be you can share it on in the comments, or on your social media or within our community. We would love to hear what everyone is doing. If there's anything that I've missed out, I apologize. Trying to be as succinct as possible while not trying to take up too much of your time. But Pride Month is all of June, and so you will be seeing lots of different amazing ways to celebrate. So just keep your eyes open and try to support this amazing group of people who take this entire month to kind of show their pride against the stigmatization that a lot of LGBT individuals have faced in the past. So I hope you have a great rest of your day. We will be having a lot of different fun Facebook Lives this month, including some more camp-themed lives, so keep your eyes peeled for that. Otherwise, I hope you have a great rest of your day and a great Pride Month. So goodbye.